everybody. Welcome to another edition of the Football 360 Show, the fastest 48 minutes of football talk on the planet. I am JP Rock. He is Matt Bierman. Our social media right there. You can catch me on X, JP Rock MO, and JP Rock Scouts U, the letter U, on Instagram, the gram, as the kids call it, Matt.
The gram. Well, I'm on the gram at Elite Football Academy, and then X on
the X.
X as Elite Football.
The X. I miss calling it Twitter. I still call it Twitter.
I do on occasion.
You know, that's like I still call stereo phonograph because I'm old. I'm a patroller. The patroller. So Football 360 Show, everything. You can also hear us on Saturday mornings at 11 a.m. on 590 a.m. KLIS, your Lou Info station, louinfo.com. And of course, find us and follow us on YouTube. Like, share, subscribe, all that good stuff, and on X as well at Football 360 Show. Of course, Spotify. You can catch us Apple if you just want to listen to the audio version, and of course, always at football360show.com. So I'll tell you what, the football season is just chugging right along, man. It's we're heading into week 3, believe it or not. Football is year-round sport. We always talk about that. We do this show year-round because there's always football talk. There's always stuff going on. But, man, it's going by fast, especially if you're a senior.
You got to hold on, boys. If you're a senior, this is that time where you don't want to wish it away, because I know everybody gets so focused on playing in college and what they're going to do after high school, which obviously you and I have talked about. You got to start thinking about that as a freshman, right? Or earlier. And you don't want to just get caught by surprise. But at the same time, I think that preparation then allows you to really enjoy that junior and senior year, even though you may not still know where you're going.
Oh, absolutely.
You at least have a pathway to realize, like, hey, this is kind of a reality, and I'm going to play somewhere.
Yeah.
But yeah, you cannot wish it away because it comes and goes so fast.
Blink of an eye.
But you remember it the rest of your life.
Right, and that's why a lot of guys like to get that out of the way right before the season. They'll make their verbal commitments so they can focus on the season. But, man, I'm telling you what, it goes by so quick. It's just a whirlwind. And it's funny because you and I are constantly working it, right, year-round, constantly preparing, constantly doing stuff. We get maybe like a week off here, week off there, right, because there's always something going on. But now we're just moving right along.
And I'm coaching this year, so it's
a grind.
It's even more like we got flag football kicking off this week with our little guys. We've indoor flag football and 3 different locations, and we obviously have skills training and performance training going on with other athletes and our football players throughout the year or throughout the season, and but it just never ends. But then adding coaching in, which I coached the middle school teams the last 4 years, and that's that's a transition because now you're going a lot earlier. In many regards, it works good for my schedule, but some regards it's not. It's just it shortens my day, so then it extends my evenings for sure.
So now do you have like Saturdays?
So we had Saturday, this past Saturday. I told you we were going to be at Mizzou.
Yeah.
My son got invited down. We were going to do the game day thing, and
I saw where people were like retweeting that he was going to be at the game.
Oh my God, JP! And then he wakes up sick.
Yeah,
sick as a dog. Which it's going around. I mean, you talk to all these different families and kids.
The COVID.
Yeah, I mean it's hitting the schools, which is weird. Like we played a game yesterday. He was definitely not feeling his best. I mean, he had some medicine in him. It was trying from Saturday to Monday. For him to miss a training on Sunday, he's not good, right? And he tried to say, I'm fine. I was like, no, you're staying home.
Yeah.
Right. You got to stay, you got to rest. But interesting. We played a game yesterday, and then afterwards, like 3 or 4 boys, you could see it on them. Like they're just drained, extraordinarily drained.
Or have it. Yeah.
I think they had, it was like one of those things where, like, if you're kind of not feeling good and then you get into competition, it can just take it out of you.
Well, we'll see if your opponent comes down with a bad case.
Yeah, right. Yeah, I think, honestly, though, I think from listening to everybody, it sounds like it's kind of hitting every school.
It really is. There's a lot of it. It was in my family last week. I told you. I had, like, for a day or two, I had like a fever, but it didn't do anything to me.
Yeah.
I have worse ailments just with my body.
Yeah.
My knees is what my focus is right now.
Yeah, let's take care of those first.
Right. And but man, it is going around. But thankfully it doesn't seem to be something that's really knocking people out.
No, I think it's funny. I did a text just now when I had said, talking to one of the fathers of our quarterbacks, and he's like, yeah, my son got sick Thursday and then he had to play Saturday.
Yeah.
So it's like, and I think it's the unfortunate thing is that if it's that fever day that hits you, hopefully that's not your day of competition.
Right.
Hopefully you have like Thursday, Friday to get better, and then or you have Saturday, Sunday to get better. But let's be truthful. It can probably hit you on a Friday, and you got a game Friday.
I think that's everybody.
That's a nightmare.
Oh yeah, everybody involved in football. I think that's their biggest nightmare is I'm going to get sick for Friday, Saturday.
Absolutely.
I mean, even like with me, what I do if I'm not feeling my best, I'm like, oh man, don't let it happen on
JP. Like there's times like different times of the year where, and it's interesting. Those few times we get off.
Mm-hmm.
I think our calendars are so synced with our bodies. Like those few times throughout the year, usually not in the summer, but like the wintertime, Thanksgiving.
Yep. Oh yeah.
I'll get sick because I've been pushing off so many things and like willpower. Like, no, this ain't happening. I want to say 2 combines ago. I mean, I think it was any other day. I probably would not have done anything. Right. But it was like, nope. Not going to happen today. We're going to do this, and so you just kind of push through it.
That's me. Every combine, every event, it's like say your prayers.
But for us, it's kind of like our little Super Bowl. Like we get to do what we want to do and enjoy it. Why would I let a little headache,
little 102 fever,
whatever.
We'll sweat it out.
Yeah,
we'll sweat it out.
It's good for you, right?
It is good for you. And I'm telling you what. So you did miss the Mizzou game. Big game, big win.
I got to see it on TV, but man, it would have been fun to see that live.
Oh yeah, wild atmosphere.
How about that comeback?
Great comeback, great game. Beau Pribula. I wasn't sure in the beginning when Mizzou, signed him. He's won me over.
I like his style.
Won me over. He won me over in the preseason, and we talked about it. And we talked about how he plays fast, right? And to me, that's important. I look for that in a quarterback. I look for somebody who plays with a sense of urgency, right? You got to play. I don't care if if you slow it down, because some quarterbacks, it looks like they're moving at their own pace. It looks like they're playing slow, but they're not. They just have that like matrix thing where they're just Carson Boyd's a guy like that, right? Who he just moves at his own speed, his own pace. But you got to play fast as a quarterback. You got to play with a sense of urgency. You can't take all the time in the world. You got to be bang, bang.
Yep.
Fired out there.
Well, and that's I think against defenses, it helps when you start to pace people and get your guys going. It's hard for them to respond sometimes. Like there's also guys that have like a sense, like a sixth sense too. Like as a coach, as a play caller, like like certain down and distances what you want to do. But like say for instance, we had a situation yesterday. You had a safety, right? We got a safety on an opponent.
Mm-hmm.
Call a pass play, an aggressive pass play, but there's also some check down options and right for the jugular, right down the seam, 40 yards. To me, those are the things that are kind of unreally scripted, people, you and I are going to watch and go, oh, okay, that's pretty good.
Yeah.
A lot of people be like, oh, that's a touchdown, let's clap. But it's like, no. There's more to it than that. You have to have
an it factor.
Yeah, there's a killer sense of it. You listen to that interview with Tom Brady where he talks about inventing things prior to the game, and he'd be like, "That guy looked at me like that. Like, what did he say about me? All those things." And when he's saying it, like it's a really cool speech because when he's saying it, if you're a competitor, it builds this like angst inside of you because you're like, "Oh, I know exactly what he's talking about." Like it's the same thing with Michael Jordan. He talked about like he would create things to get himself even more zoned in, right? And he would get upset with other people and then take it out on them during the game and just show them, right? And I think therein lies where the competitors are. And I think Beau Pribula is a guy kind of like that. You could tell he's not, it doesn't seem real rah-rah.
No, he's like very laid back for how he plays on the field is totally different than who he is in
yeah. And off
the field.
I'd heard some interesting stuff about Sam Horn, like where I think there's obviously some consternation about like, man, that was a really bad. Like, I think the play callers feel bad that he was in there because they were trying to get him in the game.
Right.
Because think about it. If you're a guy that's locked in a battle, and I think Drink and his staff have all consistently said like, no, we were really in it. We weren't just jerking everybody's chain. Because some teams will do that. Like, we don't know who the starter is going to be for opening week. No, they were in a battle, right? And I remember I told you this summer, you can go back and listen to one of the shows. We had been down there for one of the camps, and Kirby Moore was talking to my son at the end about just some things about football. And one of the things he was like fixated on was the quarterback competition. So he was talking about that in the conversation.
Yeah.
And about one guy had 5 mental errors, the other guy had none at that last practice. And he's like, we watch everything. So he's like explaining the process to me. I was just smiling because it's like, oh, it's good to hear somebody speaking a harsh truth about like, this is a big business. Like, they're not playing games. They're not playing favorites. They don't care. Right. And then when I talked to Drinkwitz that same day, 10 minutes of that conversation was literally devoted to talking about quarterback play and the competition they had. So that being said, when you see what happened to Horn, it breaks your heart because they were trying to just seed him in a little bit on a run play because he can run. He's an athlete.
He can.
And that injury happened.
I'm sure there's a lot of second guessing.
It just sucks because now you got, you go from 2 guys that are here and you go, okay, well, we win. This guy, we put him in. Right. This guy's like right here, still pushing him. And we're great because if one goes down, we got another guy that's right there on his heels now. And that's taking nothing away from Matt Zollers.
Right. See, so, I think they weren't right here. I think it was always what I saw in the preseason, and I mentioned it on the show before it ever really happened. I think Bo was ahead, but I think that they felt some kind of need to give Sam his shot because he's put in his time. And so he played well enough to where, he could start for a lot of teams, and so they wanted to give him that opportunity. They didn't want to just be like, here we go. So here, you guys fight it out live in action on the field. And, what happened. I'm sure there's a lot of second guessing.
Yeah.
I'm sure Sam's probably not very happy, to be injured.
No.
And what goes on. So I'm curious if, I haven't even really paid attention to like what the diagnosis, if he's coming back.
For what I was told, he potentially could, but probably not.
I would think not.
I think it's a potential because it may heal, but it's going to take time to heal.
Yeah,
and then by the time time's healed, is the risk worth? There's the juice worth?
He's got a career, right?
Yeah, because he's got a baseball career ahead of him. So unfortunately, it is what it is. That's part of. And that's where these kids that, everybody thinks everything's such a sure shot, right? When you're a big time guy. And the truth of the matter is that you don't know what's coming, right? No. You don't know. That's why you act with class. You're a good person.
Right.
You have skills that are going to last beyond the field.
Right. You pay attention to your academics. Yeah. You network with as many people as possible.
And I will tell you, I think that the key to college is beyond the school. Like,
correct.
Is who you meet and what your relationship is with them. Because truth be told, by the time these guys get out of high school or college, and the kids that are in high school, freshmen now, it's a new world with all the AI and all the different things changing in the business world.
And so you're going to need those connections. You're going to need
connections,
right? To do anything, right? Mm-hmm. Even if it's just a maid job, you're going to sit in an office with no windows, right? Yeah. You're going to need connections just to get that. But yeah, Mizzou, that was great to see. I know the fans were really big. A lot of local players doing well, but that's not surprise. People want to talk like it's a surprise. You and I have talked on this show for as long as we've been doing it, that the base that makes Mizzou successful is the local kids, right?
100%.
And so there we go. That's what we have. Jamal Roberts. I knew he was a guy. Mizzou knew he was a guy. Same with Brett Norfleet, right? Yep. Same with Kevin
Coleman.
Caden Green, Kevin Coleman. He's been that
He
guy.
had a heck of a game.
Every school. Yeah.
He had a heck of a game.
He's been a guy. What, fascinating is I got to see him and Luther Burden square off in high school. And Luther won those battles.
Yeah.
And so here he is coming in to replace it. But yeah, he's
wearing his number.
Wearing his number. He's a guy. That's a little in your face, right?
I think that's interesting.
I don't
know if there's any love lost between the two back in the day. I don't know about now.
It didn't seem like it. When they were at Ritter and St. Mary's, highly competitive. And so
speaking of competitive with Ritter,
yeah,
them and CBC was a pretty big we're gonna name battle.
Yeah, we're gonna get to that. Nice segue, but we're gonna get to that. But just the local guys, Marvin Burks. Speaking of Ritter, but that's just the thing. Now think about the elite caliber guys that have gone elsewhere, and think about the success that they have with the local guys, the good local guys. Right, the big time guys. Right, I always break it down.
Brett Norfleet, we didn't bring him up. Yeah.
He's a big time guy.
Yeah, heck yeah.
Marquise Gracio, he's a big time. Marvin is a big time guy. I always break it down. People are always like, well, how do you? I see you post about like big time, and and I have my own system of how I rate guys. I don't put it out there like some people do, but there's big time player, right? You get a D1 scholarship, you're pretty much a big time guy because not everybody's doing it.
Correct.
You have the stats on how many people actually, get those offers.
It's pretty slim.
It's very slim. So I don't care what it is. You get a D1 offer, you're a big time.
They're not handing
player.
Those out for fun.
Elite caliber guys, in my opinion, who've kind of slipped through the cracks. Obviously, Jackson Cantwell, just a tremendous guy. I would say Corey Sims, I would say,
Jeremiah McClellan, leading receiver this last week at Oregon.
Jeremiah
pretty
Love.
Good. Jeremiah Love,
incredibly good. Yeah,
Aeneas Williams.
Bingo. Think about
Tion Gray.
Correct. Think about the success that you're seeing Mizzou have now, and think about adding those names to the mix.
JP, if they could ever lock the borders down, and there's some that I know that they don't probably want because of there's baggage or whatever, whatever. But you got, you got guys at Michigan. You got, come on, like Frederick Moore. There's guys that are doing well elsewhere.
Yeah.
That if we ever locked it down, the one thing that I think is unique about high school football, and I can get skewered for saying this, I don't know that our body of work, 6A down to 1A, matches up perfectly with a bunch of other states across the country.
Not across the board.
As teams.
Right. I can say that.
But
individuals,
I think we match top 15, 20%, if not higher.
With anybody.
Right? Because just per capita, there was a thing that was in one of the, I think it was KSDK or Fox 2. One of those guys had a little article about all the guys in the NFL. Which a lot of them we've trained since they've been little kids. One name that was missing, I thought was at the bottom of the article. It listed potential guys to make rosters still as Blaine Gabbert. I'm like, he's retired. And then someone else, I'm like, he's retired.
Yeah.
But Brady Cook wasn't on there. Yeah. So but they had the Cody Schraders. It was like a list from last year, but it's all guys that are still, that are there's a lot of guys in the NFL from our area.
Yeah.
For a small, not the biggest. We're not tiny, but we're not the biggest market in the country. But per capita, we have as many guys as anywhere in the country.
Right.
Getting paid to play.
Right. So, with that said, you did bring up Cody Schrader again. Another sign another guy, local guy. And so that's how you win. I think the closest that Mizzou ever came to locking down a border was during the Pinkel era.
100%.
When you're bringing in Blaine Gabbert and Sheldon Richardson and Alden Smith, you're locking down the border. Those are the league guys,
and they won.
And they won at it's the highest level, right, in modern history. And so if they can get back to that, I think you're going to see that similar thing. I think you would regularly see them make the playoffs.
Do you think? And it doesn't need to be every one of those guys I just named because there's some fits and stuff like that. But if they get 75% of the guys out of the state, I think it changes the landscape of Missouri football And that's not taking away who they have down there now because they got a really good team.
Right.
But if you are correct, like every time Mizzou's successful, you can attribute it to kids that are local, and they have a bunch of other guys that are supporting it, right? And it's very interesting. And so I think that would be a huge effort. And so I heard Coach Drinkwitz is going to be in town this weekend in his helicopter and doing the whole thing. And I'd be curious to see who they're going to see.
Yeah, I have a pretty good idea who they're going to see. I think they're going to see some guys. I think they're going to see some guys they might would want to hope they could possibly still, open that door back up. And it'll be interesting to see if they have a highly successful year. Could they possibly do some flips later on, especially given the success that the local guys do? The local guys.
I mean, the buzz they got after last week, that was, I mean, and if you think about too, the strategy of the 6 home games. So they got their 3 in after this coming weekend.
Yeah.
It's a 6-game stretch and then they're gone. So like they got to get all the recruiting stuff in fast, but then they can concentrate on the rest of the season.
Right.
Well, like not hosting and all that. So I think it'd be pretty interesting to see how they close the show.
Yeah, will be. I mean, they had a pretty good turnout. They had a great turnout of recruits that were up there. Like you said, Braden was supposed to be up there.
Ridge James, I saw he was there.
Ridge was there. That's going to be a really interesting one. Ridge James. I mean, there's so much legacy.
Well, you got his dad and Brock Olivo are like best buddies, right? Brock's on the staff. Brock's salt of the earth guy. I mean, so happy that he's there coaching. Could not be happier.
Oh, without a doubt. But that doesn't guarantee. No. I mean, look at Christian Cantwell. I mean, look at Jackson Cantwell and Christian Cantwell. That doesn't guarantee.
No,
that's not, especially in today's, because it is a big business, right? Back in the day when it was more rah, maybe that might be a pull, but now you're a businessman. When you are a high-level football recruit, you are a businessman.
You need to go to the best place for you financially and on the field. And anybody that says no to that is out of their mind.
Right. So you really can't. And I know some people. I've have the misfortune of having some friends, I guess you would say, who are like, so and so didn't pick Mizzou. They're like, oh, well, I hope they get injured. I'm like, well, that's the stupidest thing I've ever heard in my life. Don't make me not be your friend because you're that petty of a person. But that's how people used to be about it. Now I think you have to understand, with the money involved, you cannot be that rah. And a lot of people are more focused, believe it or not. Well, it's probably a good thing on the transfer portal than living and dying by recruiting on a daily basis.
So speaking about business of football, I just had to pull my glasses on here because I wanted to bring this up.
It's got to be important.
I saw this and I thought, oh, well, I'll check it out. So they were advertising during college football this weekend, saving college sports. Okay. And it's like, it's like a scare tactic. Colleges are in the red and sports are going to go away. Well, are they spending the money, the billions that they're making? Come on. You now have to pay the players. So now suddenly this affects you.
Mm-hmm.
How many years were you not in the red?
Yeah.
How many years were you in the black when you weren't paying anybody?
Correct.
So then some of the solutions, the legal certainty and consistency, they want antitrust exemptions to prevent repeated lawsuits that allow for enforcement of rules. So they want to have their rules and be exempt from being sued over it, right? Which then is going to lead to collective bargaining. Ensure athletes will remain student athletes and not employees. Well, yeah, of course they don't want to do that. But if you're telling someone that they have to be there at this time, from this time to this time, these amount of days a week, these amount of
representing that institution, for this amount
that
of
is
money,
an employee. That is an employee. Of course you don't want to do that because then you have to live like everybody else and pay unemployment tax and workman's comp and all that stuff. You have to do all of it. Preemption of state law to provide consistency and fairness for all institutions. So basically any state that has their rules, like Missouri's NIL, which is best for Missouri, maybe not best for Idaho, they want to get rid of that.
Sure.
Okay. Clarity of Title IX that payments will be based proportionally on sports revenue. Okay. That sounds fair because it should be proportional. Why would it should have been? What was it proportional in the past? No. Right. So but it's very interesting to hear all this stuff, and then they bring it as like, oh, you're going to save women's sports.
Yeah.
How about you spend your money more judiciously and not and invest in your programs and not spend wildly? How about that?
Right. Poor colleges. Everybody knows how they're teetering on the brink of destitution. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Dip into your endowment.
Well, can't have that. You should be forced to pay, but they should be getting special treatment so that they do not have to abide by the same rules as everybody else.
This is one I want to look more into. Extend to college sports the same right professional leagues have under Sports Broadcasting Act to effectively market and their media rights and maximize viewership through optimized scheduling. Okay, fine. You can make more money that way, but you should not be poor mouthing it. You should be looking at strategies like that is a legitimate strategy. If there's something that they don't have access to, but to get antitrust protection, so you basically can, enforce your rule on a group of people that have no power really, that just now finally got a little power because you got to pay them.
That's what it's all about. They've lost power and they want it back.
And I told you, JP, they do not like the NIL collectives. No. The reason being is that money in their mind should go to them and their campuses. That is how they survive, is by, I could never figure it out too. It's a some of these people have, these universities have $200 million or $50 million budgets of revenue coming in every year on the clock. And then they're begging people for money and donations to operate their business.
Yeah.
And as soon as NIL took over, a lot of that money was diverted to go straight to the student athlete, as it should have, as the law would allow. And they got upset about it.
Yeah.
I don't, like, for the life of me, I don't see that. I don't understand, why, that they now, and hopefully people don't cave to it and think, oh, that's the best thing. We got to save sports, because that's their angle. Like it's going away. No. Adapt. Like any other business has to adapt.
Well, see, that's just it. They don't want it. When you're the monopoly, right? You don't want to let everybody else in and have at it.
Right.
You want to keep your monopoly, and that's all it is.
And I don't see them looking out for the small schools.
No, not at all. They can fall by the wayside.
Yeah, right. Again, like if this was like across the board for all college sports at all schools, all levels, it would be a little bit different argument. But you and I know it's not that.
Right.
They have enough money to advertise on national television during big games.
Right. Exactly. Which ain't cheap.
How about you just put that towards the women's cross country team?
Well, and again, I mean, if it is a business, and this is the one thing I don't understand, why people act like colleges are not businesses.
Oh,
it's huge. It's huge business, right? So if you have a part of your business that is not holding up, it's not successful, are you going to keep throwing money at it? Or are you going to be like, no, we're not going to do that anymore?
Correct.
Right? So if that leaves football the only man standing, the only sport standing that you can afford, because you want to pay a professor of basket weaving $250K a year, then that's a choice you're going to make.
Right.
You got to make those choices.
Is that football's fault?
Because I'm telling you what, everything else done there in colleges is done as a business. Right?
Well, if you've ever tried, if everybody knows this, you've ever been in college and then you try to change majors, or you try to change a class, and they have this matrix of classes that you're like, oh, sorry, you got to take this one. Right. And they know that equates to you being there for one more year.
Correct. Right.
Or one more semester.
Even if it has you don't really need it.
Right. But they've done an unbelievable job of like saying, it's like choose your own adventure, right? Yeah. Well, you got to take this level college algebra. And if you don't, well, you have to have that as a prerequisite. And but if you do this, you came from that school? Yeah, they don't have. It's not the same
here. Right,
yeah,
right.
Yeah, their algebra is different than our algebra.
It doesn't transfer. Right, yeah. Right. That's a different algebra.
It makes you sick to your stomach thinking through all the different possibilities of it. But yeah, when I saw that, I thought, okay, I'm going to explore. And then with the first one, they start talking about exemptions, and they want antitrust protection.
That's it in a nutshell.
Then they're going to get collective bargaining. They're going to have to start paying into pensions. They're going to have to start paying into all these different things. Once it gets unionized, they better be careful what they ask for.
Yeah.
But do you think for 1 second that those kids are not employees? Give me a break.
Yeah, no,
they're getting paid.
No,
and they have to be there,
and they've been employees for decades. And they just kind of got. I mean, they got a free education, but we all know that a lot of the wealth
which somebody donated to the school. Did the school even pay for it?
Correct. So that means that the revenue that came in from the games, from the jerseys, from all the merch,
correct.
That was just
icing on the cake.
Yep. Just didn't have to count on that. Didn't cycle back out down to anything else. It was money. Just put it in the bank. So fun times. I think Mizzou's gonna. I think they're gonna win though. Off the top of your head.
I know they have Alabama in a week or 2 weeks.
2 weeks. That's gonna be a problem. But as we see, there's nobody who's really dominant, and Alabama's not what Alabama used to be.
No, I think that's a prime example of the field has been leveled.
The parity.
Why did Nick Saban get out?
Yeah,
he saw it coming.
Yeah,
I mean, he knows, right? And every year, it like a team can change like quickly.
Right. I think he saw it coming, and I think Nick liked the fact that he was able to select players.
Yeah.
And I think once the money started flowing legally, that he didn't want to be, part of a business like that.
Mm-hmm.
When you see Alabama now, and I could see where Alabama's changed, right, with the new coaching staff, because like I said, Nick Saban used to select, right? He didn't recruit, he selected. I see Alabama offering guys who I'm like, they offered that guy, and we all know that there's offers and then there's committable offers, but still, it just changes the whole dynamic when you're offering guys who it's like, Nick Saban would have never offered that guy, right?
100%.
Because players still pay attention to recruiting and this and that, and they're like, they offered that kid, maybe they're not what they used to be, now that Saban's gone. And so you are seeing a lot more parity. I think, I don't think anybody's unbeatable on the rest of Missouri's
so they got
schedule.
Louisiana next, Raging Cajuns, South Carolina, number 11.
Yeah.
UMass.
That's kind of shocking.
Alabama.
Yeah. Okay. So, yeah. So they're going to go. So what? They're 2-0 now. 2-0. So 5-0 by the time they hit Alabama, because South Carolina's at home.
Yeah, right? Get them at home.
Get them at home, and so
we owe them for last year.
You're 5-0. Can you imagine that place? They're 5-0, and here comes Alabama.
And who knows where Alabama's going to be at that point? I mean, they could be rolling again, obviously, but
yeah.
But here's the thing.
That's a lot of momentum.
The truth be told, Florida State's damn good. I mean, they are an example of 1 year what can change.
Yeah.
I mean, some of the offensive schemes that Gus Malzahn comes up with is just
it's amazing.
And he's awesome.
Yeah, and Drinkwitz is a Malzahn, guy.
Yep.
So, but yeah, that's going to be really interesting. 5-0. Here comes Alabama. People might actually come in from tailgating to watch the game in the stands.
Yeah. Right. Well, they said this week, of course, I didn't get to see it, but that they said the stands were 10 minutes before the game were just packed. Students were in there. Everybody was rolling, ready to go.
And nobody left at halftime to tailgate.
I tell you what, that is going to be so nice when that new end zone's ready.
Oh man,
the north end zone, I guess.
It is so beautiful from back in the day. I mean, it was medieval.
So we were talking about when we were down there this summer for the camp, for the Tiger camp. The depth that they built in that end zone. I don't know what they put underneath where the M was. I mean, do you remember seeing that hole? It was.
Oh yeah.
It was. This wasn't like a little hey, we're building a 20-inch or 20-foot deep basement type of deal. It looked 75 to 100 foot it was a pit.
Oh yeah.
So who knows what I don't know. But I'm not a construction person. But yeah, it looks massive. The whole thing's going to be closed in. And I remember being in college and someone showing a plan of what the stadium would look like if they ever closed it in,
Yeah.
And then you look at it and you're like, oh, they're actually going to do that.
Yeah.
The stadium looks good.
It looks great. And I'm not going to lie. Okay. So 10, 15 years ago, that was not a big time stadium.
No.
Okay. If you've been to other programs who have big time, facilities, Mizzou wasn't one of them. And so what Pinkel did during that era is even more impressive when you think about it. Now you drive up there, you're driving down, you're driving down Providence, or you're driving, up to it, and you're like, wow, that's a big time stadium.
Mm-hmm. And when they close that sucker in, and when it's finalized, and all the architecture's there, it's gonna look world class. And the cool thing about the stadium is how it sits down in a natural bowl.
Yeah,
like it's much bigger than what it even looks like, just because of it is how the field sits. But I think that's a unique playing, I tell you what, when I was there, they could not grow grass down that hole to save their life, though. It was, I mean, they brought NFL turf experts in, and that stuff would peel up. Like, it just, whatever reason, it just,
talk about the turf.
Couldn't do it.
The turf situations. They've really what they've done is impressive. Is they've blended modern, architecture and technology and kept that old stadium feel.
Yes.
Right. So you can see it's like they kept it and just pieced around it. And it's just a nice little blend. And the players who go there, they're impressed by it. You can tell at camp, you can tell it this past weekend. A lot of good guys. On the high school level, like you were talking about CBC and Cardinal Ritter, I'm not really surprised. CBC is one of the best teams in the state.
Yes.
And I see them. I see the best. So I know Nixack got a scare from Webb City.
I saw that
this past weekend. So anything can happen. But we had Coach Pingle on. We had Coach Perry on. We had Coach Wilmes on as well. And so I'm not surprised, because Ritter's in a rebuilding year. They've got talent. Don't get me wrong, but man, most of their talent is so young, right?
Jaden McCaster, was that this week or the first week where he rushed for a bunch of yards?
That was last week. He missed part of this past week, but then came back in and really got them rolling and helped them win. The first part of the game he missed this past week. He is such a difference maker for them. I mean,
they ran the ball a lot.
They ran the ball a lot, but I'm telling you what, their quarterback, and I spoke about him last year, Adam McKnight. I mean, he's a dude. He was up at Iowa State this past weekend. He was at Arkansas the weekend before that. I mean, he is a legit dude.
He's a really good athlete.
Incredible athlete. I mean, and really what separates him from everybody else, in my opinion, I know Coach Perry said he was the best quarterback in Missouri besides one in KC, and he was talking about Mahomes.
Yeah.
What really separates him is just his skill set. His skill level as a quarterback is impressive, right? He has ice water in his veins. He plays at a different speed, at a different level. He sees the field.
How's he as a thrower? I've not seen.
Oh, it's exceptional. He's got a big arm. He has touch on it. Ball placement is great on his deep pass, on his intermediate range, and his short passes.
What offers does he have right now?
I'm not sure that he has any yet. I
Really?
think it was Missouri State, I think, is his first one.
Okay.
But you know how it is with quarterbacks. We've talked about it before. It's the hardest position, in my opinion, in high school to get the big time offers from now, because
especially where he's located, it's not going to be there's not been a ton of quarterbacks come out of the region, right?
But he's getting recognition.
He's got the number one player,
number
one player in the country on his team,
right? And so Mizzou, Arkansas, Iowa State are really, I think Nebraska a little bit, but it's tough. But man, he's just really good. Carter Temple's another 2027 quarterback. But back to CBC and Ritter. I mean, not surprised. CBC is a monster. People, I don't think, realize how good they are. Speed,
execute,
athleticism. Nick McClellan as a quarterback. In fact, I had somebody ask me, they're like, "Hey, how does JP Rock, if he's coaching, beat CBC?" And I'm like, "That's pretty tough. Not a lot of people are going to come up with that formula, because Nick can beat you with his legs. He can beat you with his arm. You have Courtney Rivers. You have Vic Williams, who's speedy. Look at the receivers that they have.
Gage.
Yeah. You have Corday Gage. You have Isaiah Thomas. You have, they have
Jaden Reed.
Jaden Reed. I mean,
Jake Plummer.
Jake Plum. I mean,
Look at that. They got some guys.
And then defensively, you flip over there. They've got speed and size at linebacker. They've got some size on the line. Their defensive backs are, you got Corday Gage playing over there too. I mean, they're a tough nut to crack.
And
I think that they're probably the guys out of St. Louis.
Yeah, I would agree.
This year.
I think they're really solid.
Yeah, just solid talent around the board. Ritter, like I said, new quarterback. They've got talent. Putting a lot of different pieces in there. A few holdovers. Putting those people. They're going to be good. They're going to be back. And I saw Coach Spain was tweeting out. He's like, "I've been there before," and then he posted 2 trophies because he's won 2 state champions.
Yeah,
and I can't believe anybody would like give him any kind of anything.
Oh, people are giving him grief.
I don't know, but it's that's what I took from it.
Huh.
Is
I mean, hey, because coaching is fickle, man. Like it's what have you done for me lately?
It is that, but I mean, it's not like they're not playing anybody. I mean, think about. I mean, their schedule is brutal.
Jackson, CBC, and then they got Francis Howell on tap.
Francis Howell. Well, I think they're going to Ohio. They're going to play a team. I mean, it's he'll play anybody. It's going to be a brutal.
Ohio football is good.
It's pretty good. Francis Howell doing well.
Yeah,
with their
big old Derek Chubb.
Coach. Yeah, Derek Chubb. It's actually
6'6", maybe 6'7". He's huge.
Probably has a really good future in baseball. He's a heck of a baseball.
I was told by a guy that by a pitching guy, college baseball coach, that he goes, I bet he's but he ends up being the top guy in our area, our region,
right?
2027.
Yeah. But Jalen Ballard is the guy over there.
He's a load, man.
He's I mean, if you can catch him, what I mean, just super super fast. But it is, I mean, and I think that's great that they've just picked up. They've been the program, and they've just picked up where they left off.
Coach Callaway, first year. I mean, that's a tough road to hoe too when you're a new head coach. But they have a tradition there, and they win. Right. They got guys coming up to their junior program. They got a good freshman class that I'm aware of. Like they got some good things going.
Yeah. Jackson is a team that's just, really, really good. They're going to be really, really tough to beat. I know they're going to be playing Edwardsville here.
That'll be a good matchup.
That's going to be a really good matchup, really tough matchup to come from there. Blue Spring South, of course, who I saw opening game. They're rolling too. That Kansas City football is so tough. I mean, it
appears like this is a up year, except for whoever Rocco Marriott and his team's playing. Like
right.
They seem to just rout people.
Yeah, I see them going 14-0 again and another state championship because the one team that probably stands in their way for that is Rockhurst. Who a lot of people just ignored completely, and it's like how you going to ignore Rockhurst? But I mean, they've got a lot of stud young athletes. Good quarterback named Garrett Miller, who's rolling on, who came to the elite combine as a freshman, and did really well. They're doing good. Lee Summit North, despite the coaching changes, they just they rolled in their game, and so good for those guys.
Yep.
But man, they just have a lot of talent, and so they're gonna be hard. Liberty is a school I think a lot of people ignore. They probably have the second biggest line, or right there with Nixa.
Wow,
offensive line wise, I mean they're just huge. I don't know what everybody's eating and drinking in Liberty.
Yeah, but them and Eureka,
man, they consistently have these 6'5", 300-pound, 6'4", 290 guys.
Yeah,
and they just line them up, and they'll just run right over you. And that's what Liberty's about. Troy Buchanan, Carter Dowell. Yeah, those guys really good. Carter Schaefer started a quarterback, had a really good game.
Really good game.
Yep.
I retweeted him. He's a young talent. Definitely keep your eyes on him.
Yeah. Blue Springs. I mean, that Blue Springs South game is just going to be crazy. If they continue on their same path.
Yep.
They're huge. Like I said, Rockhurst, Carthage is a good program. They're pretty good. Webb City making a coming. Ritter's going to be there at the end, coming out of St. Louis. Doing things like that. Eureka is doing really good. Kirkwood, who we talked about, they rolled.
Yeah, it looks like Coach Macklin got the offense dialed in a little more, he was talking about the week before, right?
Exactly, and we had him on the show that week. Republic is a team to watch. Republic out of Southwest Missouri. They have a lot of good athletes. A lot of very good athletes. We talked about Hazelwood East. Bobby Cole and his team, really good. MICDS, well, 0-2. That doesn't happen a lot.
No, not at all. They got the athletes.
So we'll see if they can turn it around. I like Farmington. They have a player named Josh McCarthy, Remember that name. He's about 6'2", 195, 200, sprinter, running back. They've moved him to wide receiver because Coach Eckley.
Yeah, Coach Eckley's down there.
He's down there, so they're throwing the ball. So they've moved him out to wide receiver, and it's like, man.
Yeah, he likes to throw that ball.
College coaches, go to Farmington. Check out Josh McCarthy. You want to see a find, because not everybody could do that. Luther North, they kicked off their season against Blair Oaks, in Blair Oaks, and so that's no fun. Kearney's a team. They're going to roll. They're going to be there end to end. And Warrenton's another good one. Festus, I like Festus. Coach Fadele, he's doing a good job down there. And Lift for Life, how about them? They're rolling. I think they're going to have a pretty darn good year.
What was the final in their Cahokia game?
I think it was like 20. It might have been like 24-14, something like that. But still, they beat MICDS. Then they go over to Cahokia and beat them. And they have an interesting schedule. But they've got the athletes. They've got the talent.
They do.
Javion Scott.
He's an animal.
He really is. And, they've got size along the line now. Isaiah Phoenix at quarterback.
Yep.
They've got TJ Woolfolk, E. Henderson. I mean, just studs. Yeah. Coach Woolfolk has built a nice program.
That senior class for them is really good. Really, really good.
It really is. And so I'm curious to see what he's going to have coming back next year. See, we're already jumping ahead.
I know. That's what we do.
We're already jumping ahead. So this weekend, you got anything going on?
I'll be coaching Friday night, and then Saturday just training, and Sunday training.
I thought about maybe popping in on that game. I don't know. We'll see. We might get the JP Rock experience on the.
Let's go
on the sidelines there. Just nobody take me out.
Yeah, McClure North. It should be. They're good. They're a good team. They play fast. They got a lot of good athletes. Yeah, it's just one of those things where it just depends on who executes the best and who can control the ball, right? And who's doing what they want to do with it.
Yeah.
And basically forcing their opponent to make changes.
Yeah. Brett Ottensmeyer off to a good start.
Really good start.
Big year. You guys got receivers.
Yeah, it's a solid, really, really solid group of guys. And I think as the year goes on, you're going to see it get even better because you got, two new starters at receiver in Max Jones and Grayson Smith, 2'6". They're standing next to each other. I'm like, you're sophomores?
Yeah.
Like, dear Lord. And they both are good kids, working their butts off, like trying really hard. Like they want to be good teammates, like just doing all the right things. And you look at them like they're only sophomores.
Right. Flag football coming up.
Yeah, I got flag football this week. It's Mondays, Tuesdays, and Thursdays. But yeah, that's it. Private training. And then also, if you want to get recruited, you might want to start thinking about recruiting stuff, and
you might want
to start thinking about getting stuff out there.
Game 3 coming up.
Yeah, we have getoffer.com. If you just check it out, you can get a free account. It's shocking, JP, though. Kids will sign up and can't even complete their own profile.
Right there,
like if you can't do that,
please don't get me started.
JP, if you can't even do that, like, do you want to play college football?
My Get Evaluated is amazing.
It's shocking.
It really is.
Shocking.
Yeah, right there on the screen. Yeah, check us out on our social media as well. JP Rock MO on X, JP Rock Scouts U, the letter U on Instagram, and they can reach you at
X Elite Football and Instagram Elite Football Academy.
Yep. Football360show.com, Spotify, Apple, YouTube. Like, share, subscribe, as well as X Football 360 Show. Everybody have a safe and enjoyable week and ball game, and we'll talk to you soon. See ya.